Good evening, sports fans. We are live, coming at you straight from the Midwest here, Columbus, Ohio, home of the national championship Buckeyes, as we call them, the national championship Ohio State Buckeyes. For some of you fans, we know that's your squad, we know that's your team, but we just giving it to you live and coming back with another banger. And we definitely want to get into today's show with just quite a few topics that we have in a discussion, for today's show this evening. But first, we definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors, starting off with Super Cat Nano, who does all of our beats, and that's Nano with a YNAYNO. And you can check him out on YouTube as well as IG and TikTok as well. Also sponsored by K&T Good Eats at Kevin J. Bird, and you can find him also on IG as well. I believe his Facebook as well, and you can reach him for some of those wonderful wings. Just a few of the selections he make. I know he got the greens. If you call, you can order some great food, as well as his sister over at 3136 South Hamilton Road with Social Nutrition. And I believe WTP Sports Dudes always speaks on that specialty that she has. So make sure you stop in those selective spots, as well as our man who has one of the, I would say, most up and coming here in the city brands. If you haven't stopped by, make sure you stop by and get a hold of him as well on IG and TikTok. And that is the Chief, DECHIEF 5991. And again, you can see all those respective names on TikTok and IG as well. And Super Cat Nano, you can find him on YouTube also. So a lot of things been going on these last few days when you talk about the NBA free agency. As you know, we are here to talk a lot about today. And there's been quite a few things that's happened. It started with the Desmond Bane with Caldwell Pope and Cole Anthony to Memphis. And then you had Desmond Bane showing up in Orlando. And right away, there's another blockbuster. You had Kevin Durant joining the Houston Rockets. And I'm sorry, Jalen Green, Brooks, along with those picks, it was time to pack your bags and make way over to Phoenix. I don't know what's going on with some of the moves that's being made, but I know this West is loaded. I felt that the West has been a conference that when you go through that West, it's never going to be easy, regardless of who you are, who your team, who you have on your team, your stature, the whole nine, because the West is something tough. As we see LeBron, and some is GOAT. We see a lot of people mention him as GOAT. So many things, but we know how that West is. It was 8 or 9 straight, and then to step over in this West, it's not that easy in the West. And I feel that everyone can agree with me when it comes to that West. It's not as easy in the East than it is in that West, I would say, nowadays. But some of the other things that happened as well, you got DeAndre Ayton, speaking of LeBron, the King, he was the number 1 pick in that draft, with Luka being the number 3 pick, joining forces years together in LA. Luka, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, it's still early in free agency. We never know who's up next, when your name could be called. I know there's so many people not people, but players. Well, I would say people and players that's tuned in to everything happening when it comes to the NBA free agency, which players are going to which teams are looking to make, that power move. And of course, there's many more names out there, and we know that one name. We'll get to that name. I'm sure a lot of people, and like myself, I'm definitely wondering where he goes, and I'm hoping that he could end up in Minnesota. We'll get to that name soon. We, of course, throughout this free agency, along with KD in Houston. They have added Finney Smith. And to add a player like Dorian Finney-Smith, I think not just bolsters your lineup. You've talked about a player that's proven himself, over the years playing that great role of being a role player. At the end of the day, everybody knows when you come into the NBA, you or just playing basketball, there are role players. And Dorian Finney-Smith has been a great asset to many teams, get those double figures up in his games. And I think, him being in Houston, I think he's in a perfect position, perfect fit with the team to where he could definitely not just be himself, but I would say excel even more with the weapons they have, being able to shoot and extend the defense. I think it's just another added piece. Not to mention just that, but the money that they paid. So he got to make what they're paying. I would say that's what people are going to look at when it comes to Finney Smith. Got to earn that money that he's definitely getting paid. Some of the other big things out there that I was able to see, to some they might not seem too big, but to me, you got Tim Hardaway Jr. joining the Denver team on a 1-year deal. You got Jonas Valanciunas joining Denver on a 1-year deal. And, it's still early. They lost Michael Porter Jr., I believe so. And to make some of the moves, Denver still having the pieces that they have. Are they done? Are they going to bring other pieces in? It's still early in this free agency. So we definitely don't know. But just to mention that, then you have Jordan Clarkson, I think, who's one of the underrated players. I'm waiting to see how he does in New York. Signed it with New York. I think it'd be a great fit for him, coming from Utah. So definitely just keeping my eyes out on a few of those players. You had Miles Turner from Indiana, who signed a whopping 4-year, $107 million contract. And I don't want to say it was too much. I don't want to say it was too little. But I'm going to just say, Miles Turner, go out there to Milwaukee and show them why they gave you $107 million. I'm going to just leave it at that. And then the next biggest thing, of course, if not the biggest thing, of course, my opinion would be Giannis. Everybody's been talking about Giannis. He's over in Greece, chilling with family. I'm sure he's not even really thinking about what's going on. He's enjoying every bit of the time with his family. Very, very private guy when it comes to, the family time. So he's not even, I'm sure, really locked in on things immediately. I think once this weekend come, I think for sure, come Sunday night, he'll definitely be thinking about things and preparing certain things, certain calls, if not already. But that's one player who I feel, if any team, and when you think of it, you got to think of the Western Conference, who's already, when you look at the West, it's a powerhouse that just continue to gain momentum. If Giannis joins the West, just think of the possibilities of what teams that he could join in the West. For me, you looking at a lot of things with the tier. I always think about Minnesota. You can't not think about San Antonio. There's talks about other teams, but me, even Houston, I think people I spoke on. But Giannis, whatever you do, man, you deserve to be a free agent and be able to choose your destination. Many players has come to this point in their career where they've been a major asset, an addition that could help win a championship, if not being that piece and winning that championship that following year. So with all due respect, man, take your time and do what you feel is best for you, your family, and be great, because I know you've come into the league and I've enjoyed watching what you do on a regular year in, year out. You've brought a franchise in Milwaukee back to prominence when it comes to winning, a winning organization and a place to even be. So we appreciate you for the things you've done in Milwaukee, and I can't wait to see your next destination. If it's Minnesota, oh, I'm going to love it. And that's just a team that I have chose to be my team. Ant-Man, I can't wait to see your off-season workouts and continue to do what you do to build for this upcoming year, as well as the re-signing in Minnesota. And 5 years for a guy in Naz Reid, I think that 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people say what they say about Naz Reid. That was one player I actually watched at LSU, and he single-handedly kept that team, I believe, that year. They was going to the Sweet 16 or maybe even Elite 8. I can't remember exactly, if I'm not mistaken, Sweet 16. A year with Ben Simmons. I mean, he was just a great part of LSU. I think without Naz Reid, LSU is not near that good. You can say that about many players that season, but definitely Naz Reid. I feel like he would have been a major player that you're missing when it comes to that team. But anyway, re-sign. Looking forward to what you bring to the table off season with you and Ant-Man. I'm sure you're going to be working out. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. I've been definitely tuned into episode. Just watched the last one. And like you said, not being able to prepare for anything throughout the offseason, just constantly playing. I just can't wait to see after what you do, working out through an offseason, getting your body ready for the next year. Can't wait. And still speaking on the Milwaukee Bucks, Damian Lillard, Scott Wade. Question is, where's Dame Lillard going? A lot of talks of hometown Oakland, Golden State, Dame and Curry. Then you got Jimmy. Ooh. Man, I think this is going to be probably one of the most anticipated sports seasons. You're talking NBA, you're talking college basketball, you're talking NFL, you're talking about college football. Not to mention even baseball, which has started, has been a great season to start. We'll get to that talk in the next few weeks, and I'm hoping that these notes that I've compiled for you will be great when it comes to that baseball talk as well. But to get back to this Dame Lillard, he's been waived. Why not go to Oakland, hometown where it started, with you on the basketball and your legacy with Curry and your career with Curry? I would say you deserve Hall of Fame in many ways, because some of the things that you've done, and to be able to play with Curry, I mean, it'll be bombs away. Chef Dame bombs away. But just saying, it's still NBA free agency, so we definitely have no clue of the possible things that can happen. And one question and one note that I had was, will any rookies get included in any coming free agency moves and trades and things like that? Still something to see. We had Josh Minott signed a 2-year, $5 million over there with Boston, who's been making some different moves as well throughout this free agency. And then you got a 3-year, $48 million deal over there coming to Detroit and Duncan Robinson. I think it was a trade in there perhaps. And, I've always liked Duncan Robinson being able to shoot the ball. I think in Miami, he was kind of overshadowed some in different ways, being able to just be himself. Duncan, you over there with Cade Cunningham. Cade gonna find you. Shoot that 3-ball, Duncan, and be Robinson, and get back to those Michigan days and when you was just stretching the floor, shooting that 3-ball. And I just love what you are able to bring to the game as well in basketball. Then we also have hometown, straight out of Columbus, Ohio. We have Nigel Hayes and a 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns. Shout out to you, Nigel Hayes from Wisconsin. And it's crazy when you look and you see so many different things when it comes to just the little things like a Nigel Hayes signing. Because for me, when I seen that, it was everything to me in ways, because I've always been a fan of Nigel Hayes. Number 10 at Wisconsin, probably got some of the most underrated but greatest post work you'll ever see for an undersized big in a position he played. Shout out to you, Nigel Hayes. I'm going to definitely tune in, and I hope they get you in that rotation for at least 20 to 30 minutes at times throughout the season, at least 20 to start. And I will definitely be appreciative of that coach over in that organization in Phoenix for you to get that ball rolling as well. Um, Today's talk was incorporated with so many more things. Shout out to Post Game. Shout out to FanDuel. Shout out to City League. Ask somebody. T1, Parlay Poe. Shout out to WTP Sports Dudes, who's put everything together for us to be able to step on this here stage. Shout out to our sponsors, who's always coming in and just giving us, whether it's just not the advice, but to be able to sponsor and be a part of what we do here with WTP Sports Dudes. It is just a blessing to be not just have known some of these people for a majority of my life, but to meeting some of these new people and the Chief and T1 over the past few months. And it's just been a blessing to build what we have built, on this here platform. And, for those watching, as you know, Mossberg have started Saturday night conversation with Mossberg. We're going to switch it up a little bit this weekend, but we're coming at you with a Sunday night conversation with Gabby Mitchell out of Solon, Ohio, Akron University. Just a blessing when you meet people. I met Gabby when I was at work doing my serving thing, cooking that day, and not knowing she was a former athlete. And to bring you guys this show Sunday, it will be a blessing. And Gabby, I thank you for being able to get back and for us to be able to build this interview and this show. So make sure that you all lock in for Sunday night, 7 p.m. conversation with Mossberg, having Gabby Mitchell on the show for a great talk interview. And we'll be diving into just some of the things of not just basketball. We're talking about some of the things just in life itself, growing up in a small town. And I'm not just bringing you just someone. When we talking basketball, of course, she's a basketball player. She played at Akron, Ohio, but she was part of one of the winningest teams in program history in high school at Solon High School and Akron. She came in as a freshman. Also, sharpshooter and a great defensive player. We'll get into all that talk Sunday. But also tomorrow night, make sure you stay locked in and tuned in to WTP Sports Dudes. All the gang should be in, and we should be giving you nothing but some of the greatest hot topics and hot discussions that's going on in the sports world. Oh, yeah. Don't forget about the head coaching position over in the Big Apple. They call it New York City, the Mecca. Mike Brown, he's in there. He has his position, and we will see what the New York Knicks will be bringing to the table. So when we come to you tomorrow, we plan on just being a little diverse. We might hit you with one topic, come at you with a whole nother show included within the topic. But here, WTP Sports Dudes, Level Up Sports 10, FanDuel, Parlay Poe, Blitzberg. We got T1, City League TV, Man of Many Hats, Ask Somebody podcast coming to you soon. We got Post Game. We got the sponsors, of course, and we got more shows coming to you live and direct from the Midwest. And we call them banger because definitely it's going to be a banger, as we always do, tomorrow evening as well. So for those that tuned in, we greatly appreciate you for tuning in this evening. So that's just a little glimpse into some of the free agency talk that Mossberg was able to come to you with. But once the guys get in here, it's going to be crazy. WTP Sports Dudes, we appreciate you being able to put us all together on a daily basis. The chat is going to be blowing up crazy. We're going to be coming up with more topics and more different talks for you throughout this weekend coming. Of course, we got our Saturday, what's happening, and then we got our Sunday morning as well. But we're going to double dip and come at you with that Mossberg Sunday night conversation with Gabby Mitchell this Sunday night at 7 p.m. as well. So just stay tuned. Stay locked in. And we appreciate you all for staying locked in with us from day one. Liking, subscribing, everything that we do, even when you go back and rewatch. We appreciate you all. So make sure you hit that like button. You go check us out on YouTube. That's Level Up Sports 10. That's WTP Sports Dudes. That's FanDuel Zay. That's Blitzberg with Parlay Poe. That's Post Game. Respectively, we all have our own channels as well. And T1, Ask Somebody podcast coming to you soon. And make sure you go check out Exclusive. He's on Facebook. T1, Ask Somebody, Man Emily Hats. We definitely going to have you on here. We're going to do just a show with you and your brand. We're going to have you showing off some of those clothing, some of those shoes, some of those hats, everything that you do. But until next time, as we do here, WTP Sports Dudes, this is your boy Mossberg, Moss B. Go Nose. Peace.